going to see today Antakaranas. The Antakaranas is something that is very interesting, are sacred symbols, but different from the symbols that we used in the initiation or to heal. Antakarana is a symbol that comes from sacred geometry, and this is one of these links that connects everything, all the theories and all the authors and all the people that talk about energy. Any of you is related with Metatron's cube? Have you ever seen Metatron's cube? No.
I mean,
Probably saw it in my house, girls, but I don't know when I took you for a visit to the, the pool house area where I used to do Reiki there. There is a picture with Metatron's cube.
Okay, if none of you is related with Metatron's cube, I will talk only about Antakarana. But just to let you know that there is like a whole science that is called sacred geometry. Out of that Metatron's cube, that it's a cube, that it is a male figure, comes out the Antakarana. The Metatron's cube is not only a male's figure, it is also a female figure, but it is not called Metatron's cube, but it is called the flower of life, if you're going to see the female aspect. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to share my screen, just Googling really quick Metatron's cube and the flower of life, so you can see how they together combine. This one that you see here is Metatron's cube. This one that I just select, the one that it is with the purple background. If you are going to see it in only two perspectives, this is going to be the Star of David, the symbol of the Jewish people. Can you see it?
Yeah.
6 points, yes.
Exactly. It is around, exactly, the 6-point stars. It is surrounded by an hexagon that it is the element of water. Do you remember when we saw like the elements? This is the element of water. If you try to use your imagination to see this in 3 dimensions, if you try to see it in 3 dimensions, it is not static. It is tetrahedral star, and it is also a cube. Maybe it's possible that you see it in 3 dimensions. Maybe it's possible that you don't see it in 3 dimensions. In this picture, the same star, the same hexagon is a little bit more easy to see in 3 dimensions because we have that peak that comes out, and there is also going to be a peak that comes out behind. This is the shape of the electromagnetic field that we have around our body. The electromagnetic field around our body it usually seems to be like an egg, or seems to be like a circle around us. Why? Because this triangle that has the base down is spinning to the right, and this triangle that it has the base with the point down is spinning to the left at the same time in the same body. So this is very complex, but just to let you know that the male aspect of our energetic body has 2 ways of rotation, and it occurs at the same time. And this happens so fast. So if somebody is able to see the energy, what they're going to see is a circle, because it's what it remains after it is spinning. So this is Metatron's cube. And if you see, this is the energetic body combined. This is what we call the Merkaba, because we're going to have here also the egg of life, which is the circles. This is Metatron's cube combined with female and male aspects. The circles represent the female aspect, but it is called the flower of life. This is the flower of life. It comes from the first circle, that it is an egg, and then it comes, let me see if I can show you. It comes out for one first circle, and then the creation is done when the 6 other circles are done. So the creation ends up with 7 circles. Here we can find the flower of life and Metatron's cube. Can you see here the male aspect that it is the Star of David?
Yes. Yes.
Inside of it, it is combined. This is sacred geometry. So how do you find it? Because you unify the interceptions of the circles, and then you create the figures that you see here. And this is eternal. So you see here a star, and inside another star, and inside you can make another star and another star and another star. And it is eternal inside, and it can go eternal outside. But there is a circle that says, no, in this reality, in the third dimension, we're going to consider only up to here. This is like another law. Okay, all this to explain you one more thing. This is how it is done. So we have one first circle, and then we have another circle, and only touching the interceptions between the two circles, you create the third circle, and then the other circle, and then then you create here inside, there is a flower. If you see, this is called the flower of life. And the whole 6 or 7 circles are called the seed of life. If you're going to see this in 3 dimensions, the seed of life is like the first blackberry that it is created when the female egg is germinated with the male seed. This is the first creation, exactly. So that is exactly the shape that we create, and that every animal creates, no matter the species. We all come from this same seed. That is why it is called the seed of life. And this is this part that you see here, that a little bit more complex, because you know that there is a cellular division that later will create this image that you see here. And with the male aspect, because we all are both, here is the seed of life combined with the male star. So we have a molecular or cellular division combined with energy, and this is what creates life. So out of this comes, here you see the complexity when a being is developed, with everything that has life is developed. Plants, animals, the molecular structure comes out of this sacred geometry. So we're going to see today Antakaranas. Antakarana is a symbol that Dr. Mikao Usui or Master Mikao Usui saw or came to his mind, and he really didn't know how to explain. But what he could understand was that this was a bridge, that it was a bridge between something, and that it was located in the heart. In Sanskrit, the word Antakarana means two things. It is separated, Anta, Antara, and Karana, which means internal organ, or which means the heart. It is the place where the thought and the feeling is connected, where you are a little bit more than your mind, and that is the place of the soul, let's say. So what we're talking about is that energy in that physical body, that it is located in the area of the heart. When we die and we only see the body, there is no energy of Antakarana. There is no life. They have to be connected. So that is that energy that I'm telling you that spins around our body. When we die, that energy moves away to another place. So the body remains empty. So we are not the star inside the seeds or inside the cells. We're not that anymore. For the philosophy, Antakarana also represents like this bridge between manas, like the inferior part of the body, and the superior mind, superior manas, let's say. It's that bridge between that connection between the two realms, the physical and the energetic, or the physical and the spiritual. So we're going to talk about here of Antakarana, and other way to explain Antakaranas is the following: threads that connect the soul with God, or the soul with that superior mind. Meanwhile, those threads are connected, we are still alive. In the moment that these threads disconnect, we lose. It's like when our spirit leaves our body. And those threads are connected directly to the heart. According to the Toltecs, we have different threads that connect us to the universe. We can call it like that. So we have threads that come out from our stomach or from our belly button. We have threads that connect from the heart, and we have threads that connect from the third eye, that gives us, for example, intelligence, wisdom, etc. We have the threads that connect us to the stomach and to the belly button, that are the threads of the willpower of God. And we have the threads that connect from the heart, that come directly from that heart of the superior or of the universe. In that case, and there is actually a lot of similarities with Buddhism. There is a prayer that is from the higher mind of God, let's send all the wisdom to the men. From the heart of God, let's receive all the love to the men. And from the willpower of God, from the solar plexus, let's receive directly to us the willpower of God. So there is a prayer that also involves these threads. But the Antakarana that we're going to talk about here is that bridge or that thread that comes directly from the heart, that has to do with the soul, and that has to do with this bridge of evolution. The way of evolve as a human being is through the heart. There is no other way. We have to balance the first three chakras that connect us to Mother Earth, that makes us humans in this dimension, in the third dimension. And after you open your heart is the opportunity to be something different, to understand the reality in a different way, to connect with everything that it is real, that it is alive, to complete, let's say, the perspective from another point of view. So this is really an ability, let's say, and a skill when you open your heart to create this electromagnetic field that it is different, that for the Jewish, they're going to call it the Merkaba. And they say that when you activate that electromagnetic field around your heart called Merkaba, you're able to ascend. You're able to transcend this world. Another way of seeing it, and if you see here, we're talking about this bridge. This is for the Gnostics, another point of view. So we have here the human personality, that it is this egg that you see here in yellow. And we have a bridge that connects with the wisdom of God, we can call it. With that, the triangle that we see here is like called the permanent atom, or the Buddhic permanent atom with the atomic permanent atom. When we say the permanent thing is that thing that doesn't change. So we have something that is completely stable, that is the truth, that is what never changes. And the connection between our personality with that is what we call Antakarana bridge. So let's say that we have this electromagnetic field, physical, but there is also another energetic electromagnetic field that it is like out of this world or something. And that connection between those two aspects, but you as a human being, a multidimensional human being, you are both things at the same time, connected by this bridge or by these threads from your heart. In physics, we can call the Antakarana a wormhole. Have you heard about this term, a wormhole?
No.
The wormhole is very easy to understand, and it is a concept of quantum physics. A wormhole is a black hole in the universe. And I don't know if you have heard that the black holes absorb. So they eat the stars, they eat everything, and people are very fearful of the black holes because after you fall into a black hole, you disappear from this reality or from our physical eyes. But in quantum physics and in physics in general, the matter never disappears, it transforms. So what happens is that you pass through the wormhole, through this black hole, and you end up in another place, dimension, time, etc., being something different. That is what happens after you pass a wormhole. So you enter here, something happens that transforms you, and then you end up in another place, dimension, etc. In Christianity, we're going to call an Antakarana bridge a miracle. What is a miracle? Something that you start in the point A, being someone, and after just a little period of time, immediately, something that you thought that it was impossible happens, and you end up in a point B, thinking in another way, being a different person. Why? Because what you believed that it was impossible, now it is possible. The different perception, how you change your mind, how you can conceive the reality in a different way because something happened that for you was impossible in just a little period of time. That is a miracle in Christianity. That is a wormhole in physics. That is using the bridge with an Antakarana. So how we are going to use the Antakaranas is to accelerate or to change something like the impossible causes. Okay, let's use an Antakarana. Something that one person can come to you and say, hey, please give me Reiki. I would like to change. Yes, I would like to be in another state. I would like to heal myself. And you say, okay, this is a challenge because this person is really not in a good moment or something. Always remember that Reiki is self-healing. So we need the commitment of the person. And that's why I also sent you this week that the first thing that we need to ask the person is if you're really ready to rid of all the things that makes you sick, no? Emotionally or physically. Sometimes we're not ready. But let's say that the person is committed. So how my teacher used to do is, this is the Antakarana symbols. These are the Antakarana symbols. We have one symbol that we're going to put up above the person and one symbol that we're going to put below the person. So for example, in the Antakarana is the cube and the circle around.
Yes.
So there are many ways to see it. Actually, we have to see this with a lot of imagination. First, the cube that you see here has like a branch, and this is moving. This is not an static symbol. This is not a second dimension symbol. This is a third dimensional symbol, and actually beyond. It can be fifth dimensional. So try to see it like if it comes out and it is something that is spinning, a cube. Actually, of the power of the energy of this symbol, people altered it, and the asbestos of the Nazis came out of this symbol, but using it with a different purpose. And that's why they have the branches to another side, and it has one more branch. But they use secret geometry to work in the subconscious mind of the people. So the Antakarana symbol is this bridge that connects with both sides, with that intelligence of the universe, of God, of the source, and directly to your heart. The way that we understand this symbol has nothing to do with the mind. It has all to do with the feeling. It makes you feel in another way. And when you feel in a different way, you think in a different way. For example, Let's say that every time I meet with somebody, I feel bad. Why? Because that person makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable because that person say bad things about, let's say, a man that talks bad about women. As I, with my mind, identified with woman, it's not that he talks about bad or tell me bad things to me directly, but because I identify with the concept of woman, I feel bad when I am in his presence. Or it can be that it directly tells you things and, well, that's direct. I completely identify with that. Remember that when you don't take things personal, then the things don't affect you. But for whatever reason, that man makes me uncomfortable because I identify with his speech. And one day I think different and I don't identify with his speech. And then I don't create that atmosphere of negativity when I'm next to him because I definitely didn't connect with what he's saying. So only changing a thought makes me feel different. And how that happened? Because something shifts inside me. Something had changed. A miracle. Something happened that puts me in another position and change my reality. I am in the other side of the bridge in a completely different space. So, a little bit like this is how the Antakaranas work. They work in a way that makes changes your way of feeling. So, you change the way that you think and takes you to a higher level of consciousness. The Antakarana always will have to take you to a higher level of consciousness, not only to another side, but to a higher level of consciousness, because you are seeing with a wider perspective the reality. So, what is the idea? That I'm going to send you these symbols. You can print the symbols. You can meditate watching the symbols. And the idea is that you just see them with your eyes like a little bit relaxed, not focused like this, but just like relaxed. Usually you put them on the floors and you will have to see the movement in the Antakarana. When your heart connects with the symbol, you're going to see a movement, a rotation.
Is the movement like a circular thing,
Yes, it is a circular.
like a wheel, like a wheel?
You can see a wheel, or you can see like like something that spins in
Okay.
a spiral.
I was watching this movie the other day with my daughter. It's called some Men in Black International. But in that, so it was about some intergalactic stuff. And so in that, so when you're talking about this, it's reminding me of that. So in that movie, there is somebody from another galaxy who's handing over something to one of the Men in Black agents, actually a woman. And the whole thing looked like this Antakarana. It's supposed to represent something very powerful in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
like a powerful weapon that could destroy everything. But yeah, it had the same. It has the same. I think when I thinking of how to visualize it, that object is coming to mind. So maybe, yeah.
You. Yes, interesting. Yes, there are a lot of symbols that are very special, but what these symbols do, it activates your heart. What it does is that it helps you to activate your heart. And when you activate the heart, you're helping the persons to evolve. And that's why sometimes they can quit, for example, an addiction. So it is good to put the symbol on top and below, for example, the chair that you always sit down on, no, or the place where you work. So put the symbol like in the ceiling and put the symbol below the chair. It has to be in a sandwich, like how it works, because sometimes your patient or the customer is not going to meditate with it. For us, is for meditating, for watching it, and just relax the sight until we connect heart with the symbol. And then how we know that we really connect? Because we're going to see that it comes out in a third dimension, or that it comes out, or that it starts moving. But to treat a person with it is just to put the person up and down, like to connect that bridge. Yes, Ali?
No, just a question, and it doesn't matter which one we choose, whether it's the yin or the yang, female or male.
I found these two in internet and are similar to the ones that you have in the book, but for my view, I don't see any difference between the two of them. Can you see?
No.
Can you tell
Yeah.
the difference? Just
No,
the position.
I was
the
going to ask you,
position.
but I think that the difference really is the position of the cube, but nothing else, because it's got the seven, it's got everything except the position, the orientation. I don't know.
They are symmetric, I think. They are the same.
Exactly. You're going to find sometimes some that are more, that this branch is a little bit thinner, and I'm going to show you other examples. But
Yeah.
what combines the male and the female here is the cube and the circle, as I show you in Metatron's cube, because this is a figure that comes out of the sacred geometry. So Antakarana is both female and male at the same time, and that is why it allows you to create, to pass to another moment. Let me see if we have here. We also have the cross with Antakaranas. This is another way of explaining it. Okay, so you're going to have all these. You have the male symbol and the female symbol. For my perspective, they just like move a little bit like in this way, but it is the same.
The
Yes.
same. Yeah.
It's the same. With Photoshop, you can change this to this part, and we are going to have the cosmic cross. For example, if you want to create something, you can put this, and each of these symbols is going to contemplate a chakra. So it's to allow each of the chakras or each of the wheels to spin, no? And here what it says is that the symbol opens the heart to positive energy and purifies it. And you're going to find the square. This type of network or of square with a lot of Antakaranas, I used to put them, for example, below. I write something that I want to manifest, and I put it there, and I put a crystal on top. And it's like to give a lot of power, heart power, to whatever intention you have. So you're going to find Antakarana symbols in different ways, but remember, this is a bridge that connects your heart to the superior heart. This is basically the idea. We are going to meditate with the Antakarana. So I'm going to put a very big Antakarana symbol in the screen. So I'm going to guide the meditation, and the idea is that you watch the symbol during the whole meditation, okay? And see how we feel.
So
That's
we
the
shouldn't
key.
close our eyes. We have to see the symbol.
Exactly. We're going to see the symbol. Perhaps you can close your eyes,
Okay.
and if you still have the symbol in your mind, but if you're comfortable, but again, try and go and see it again. Then close your eyes and see it again, because sometimes in the way that we have developed our meditations, sometimes we can feel more if we close our eyes. So maybe you just have the image and close your eyes and try to connect with what you feel, what I'm feeling meanwhile I'm looking at this. I have here another Antakarana symbol. Let me see this one. This is another way of seeing the Antakarana. This one, do you see it?
Mhm.
It is out of the cube, but the cube is there at the same time. You know, like if you see it in a third dimension, you still have the cube there, and there is a wheel in the middle that creates the movement. These are all the other ways, or all the other Antakaranas that I just found. So here we have the network. This is like the female and the male, but are the same. we have these ones that involve the male and at the same time the female. So it doesn't matter. But what I do is that I usually print them and I put them up and down in different places, in the place where you work, or in the place that somebody that you want that person changes the level of consciousness or opens the heart works, or where you sleep. So below the bed and up in the ceiling, it can be not shown, but in a way that you can just cover that. But it is a way, it's a symbol that helps us to raise our level of consciousness.